Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing the Careers and Trades unit from Gather Round Homeschool. This is one that we recently finished, and I thought it would be really fun to just kind of talk through it because it's a little bit different than some of the other Gather Round units that we have done in the past. I'm going to give you just kind of a quick overview of what the unit is about. I'll share my daughter's pros and cons, of course, because I always do that first. And then I'll kind of wrap up with my own review and my final thoughts. So the Career and Trades unit is exactly what it sounds like. It's a study of different jobs and trades. Each lesson focuses on a specific career field, and then within that lesson you get a mix of history, practical information, and just kind of day in the life sections that give you a little bit of a peek into what it's actually like to work in that field. It's not just limited to college-based careers either. You're getting a good variety of skilled trades, jobs that require certifications, even some entry-level positions and entrepreneurial ones. And I really appreciated that because it didn't feel kind of biased towards one career path or the other. The teacher's guide is where you get the meat of the lessons. Of course, it includes the reading for the day, any discussion points, and then little notes and things that give you insight into what's happening in the student books. Then there are the student notebooks, which vary depending on your child's grade level. And all of those include a mix of the notebooking and some hands-on activities and some copy work and other assignments. It does cover a broad range of jobs, things from an archaeologist to a plumber to graphic designers and teachers. Some of the things we learned were totally new to my daughter. She had never heard of them before. So it was really fun to just kind of watch it open up her mind to new possibilities. Now, I will jump into her thoughts on the unit first. And she actually had quite a few things that she really liked with this one. First, she loved the boxes in the student notebook where you could kind of write about the different careers and then giving them a star rating. She thought it was really fun to keep track of which jobs she thought was interesting, and it gave her a little bit of a spot to be creative on how she evaluated each one of those jobs. She also really enjoyed the activities, especially the archaeology dig and the make your own fossils. Those were super big wins for her. Anytime there's anything kind of hands-on, she totally loves those, and it gets talked about for quite a while. Another big pro for her was just learning about the different jobs in general. She thought it was neat to read about the jobs that she didn't even know existed, and she really liked that there wasn't a ton of copy work. She's not the biggest fan of super heavy writing, so the lighter writing days were really appreciated. She also had fun with the resume building activity and then practicing for a mock interview. She's at that age where those kind of real life things feel super exciting, like she's getting a peek into a grown-up world, and so this was a really big highlight for her. And those day in the life sections in the teacher's guide, she said she loved those. It was really cool to hear what a typical day would look like for people in those different careers. Now, her only con was that there was math pages included. Okay, she said they were easy, and so it wasn't a big deal, but if she had to pick something, that would be the thing that she would pick, is that there was a math page. But at the end, she gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars, which for her means she liked it, but it wasn't I absolutely loved every single part of it. And now, I will tell you from my review, honestly, I agree with her on most of that. I think this was a really good unit. We learned some new fun things, but it's definitely more of a practical unit. So it doesn't quite have that same wow factor as some of the more themed or kind of story heavy units that we've done before. That said, the day in the life sections were really fantastic. And I almost wish that those were expanded a little more, but I know on the flip side, they'd probably have to take out a job that's highlighted in the section and, in that lesson. And there really was a good mix. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to say which option would be better. I actually even learned about some careers that I hadn't really heard of or really thought of as a career before. And I really liked that it wasn't jobs that just required a 4-year college degree. There really was a good variety of trades and skilled labor and professional careers, all of those things. Actually, my husband's job was one of the ones listed, and my daughter thought that was just the coolest thing ever. It gave her a little bit of a connection point that made the unit a little more memorable. Now, this might even be a unit that we revisit in high school. I can see us digging deeper into some of these career categories and maybe doing more of like a long-term, maybe even a year-long study. You could find speakers, maybe set up field trips. At the end, you could set up mock interviews, maybe with a co-op if you wanted to do it as part of a co-op. I think this one would be really fun to do together because you can really make it interactive. Let the kids present different careers, they create their own resumes, and then have them apply for jobs and do mock interviews amongst themselves. Overall, I thought it was really well done. Again, it's different from a lot of the other Gather Round units that we've done. It leans a little bit more towards like the life skills, real world knowledge, which I think is totally valuable. Now, this is not necessarily the kind of unit where you get swept away in a big historical story or a deep dive into a rabbit trail, but it does leave you with some really practical takeaways. So I'm with my daughter on this one. 3.5 out of 5 stars feels right. It's not one that we're just going to rave about as one of our absolute favorites, but it's one I'm definitely glad that we did. And I think it's one that could be revisited later, maybe with a little bit of a different approach. If your kids are curious about what jobs are out there, or if you just want to kind of weave in a little bit of career exploration into your homeschool, this is definitely a solid choice. I would love to hear from you. If y'all have done this unit, y'all let me know down in the comments. But that is it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.